Everyone, hope you're doing well. This is a check-in for week 11, so we're really moving quickly through the last couple of weeks of the course. Just a reminder, I think it's week 14 where I have our final exam review with our final exam in week 15. So being on week 11, we got a couple weeks left, but make sure you're reading the material. If you had a couple of course content sections, a couple of weeks that you struggled to read the chapters, go back to those weeks and read the chapters now just before we get into the review process, because I don't want you to get to the final exam and be struggling. So the goal is to get, of course, a good grade in that and to continue out throughout the course with solid grades to make sure that you end the semester with a great grade, hopefully an A. So let's jump into week 11 for this week. We just talked about ethical communication. Now we're going to talk about career communication and how to write as a professional. So the business writing process in chapter 13. I really enjoyed this chapter, especially because I deal with this on a daily basis. And there's a lot of great information in here in relation to finding a job, keeping a job, and also how do you communicate from a business perspective. So you have to know, of course, what type of business you're in, and then also the industry you're in, what type of communication is welcome. How does your boss like you to communicate? Does he like long emails? Does he like bullet points? Or does she like really, really lengthy information? Or does she like it just straight to the point? Do they allow a lot of autonomy? Do they want to stay in touch with everything that happens in your day-to-day activity? You know, there's a lot of different things that plays into how to be successful in the workplace. So chapter 13, the lecture, and then the optional lecture, talk about that. So the optional lecture is a little bit, a couple of years ago, I did a lecture about interviewing for a job, keeping a job, and then what to expect in a job interview. So you can take a look at that. Totally optional. Just chapter 13 is what's due for this week. Also, how to write an email. There's a great TED Talk that I've really, really watched a couple of different times. I really enjoyed it. Got a lot of information from there. Make sure you read chapter 13 in your textbook. Also, I have a really cool interview techniques that I use in the optional lecture. Feel free to take a look at that. Science of Business Writing from Harvard Business Review. I like that as well. Finding a job and keeping it. There's another file here which talks a little bit about where to look for jobs, how to find jobs, looking at networking, all that kind of good stuff. So in here, networking and all that kind of stuff, predictors and outcomes of networking among job seekers. A lot of cool stuff in there. So that's optional as well if you want to take a look at that if you're interested. The PowerPoint slides are also attached here. That has to do, of course, with the lecture, the chapter 13 lecture. And the only thing that's due this week is your discussion board post. Remember, your initial post, of course, is going to be due the 26th. So June 26th, Wednesday by midnight, and the reply is going to be due the 30th by end of day. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I appreciate all that you've done so far in this class, and I'm looking forward to the next few weeks really ironing out a great grade. Reach out with any questions again. Thanks.